Okay, good morning or good afternoon, depending on when you are watching this webinar. It's absolutely wonderful to see you all on here, and welcome to the Steps to Success webinar. And as you can see, there are 80 days to go before the exam season begins. So I've put this quote on to start off this Steps to Success webinar because I think this is a message that I'm regularly giving to the students, which is that, you know, part of the process between now and the summer 2023 is failure. And the really important note here in terms of failure is how we pick ourselves back up and how we carry on, because it's challenging, and year 11 is challenging. But, you know, along the way there will be failures, but ultimately failure does lead to success. So thank you so much for joining us and for supporting your child in their process towards success. So our aim really is to give your child everything that they need to prepare to succeed. And that's what our Steps to Success event is all about. And this webinar is going to introduce the event to you, invite you to attend. We want every single child or every single young person in year 11 to attend the Steps to Success event, but we also want you to come along and support them. And that is really, really critical. So the event itself happens on Monday the 12th of December, and you will have by now received a letter to give you your allocated time slot. You will actually have an experience of a parental workshop with a company called Elevate that I'm about to introduce you to. So your young person will attend the workshop, and you will also attend a parental workshop, which will give you all the tools that you need to support your child. You will also have a work pack with lots and lots of invaluable resources from both Elevate and from us to support them along their learning journey to success. And we've also provided a free study guide to help the whole study process. And this has absolutely everything in terms of the tools that your child will need to be successful. And that study guide will be provided to your child upon attendance of the Steps to Success event. So there are lots and lots of very important reasons to attend. Elevate are a company who we have outsourced to come in, and they have a fantastic reputation in terms of providing opportunity. So without further ado from me, I'm going to hand over to Elevate so that you can find out more in terms of who they are and what they offer.
I love working with young people. I love being able to make a positive contribution to their education, but it's the kind of information that people assume that students just magically possess.
None of them want to fail, but sometimes they're a little bit confused about how best to succeed.
At the moment, I don't have a study strategy.
It seems so horrible knowing you've got this mountain of work to do, you've got loads of exams on the horizon, you're just like, oh my gosh, it's just really daunting.
If you get to this stage, you're already doing better than about 95% of most students in the country.
Our previous approach to study skills was to get in a presenter, but probably only once a year and with very little follow-up.
For the most part, I think schools are starting to realise that the long study skills day at the start of the year, it just doesn't work. And so instead, what we do is we come in and run short, sharp sessions across a year or even a number of years.
Quickly put your hands up if you had me before.
Spreading them out. It's actually quite exciting.
Elevate is an educational programme. I think what makes it so effective is that it's based on research. I think that was the first thing that made it different.
It's all very well, we had people coming in to say what to do, but I like how today we actually had examples being given.
Not only give them the tools to achieve what they want to do at school, but also in the future. It also gives them the motivation because they know they can do it immediately after a seminar. They can go and take something practical that we've given them and immediately put it into practice.
The students are incredibly well motivated when they come out of the room. And I think that's to do with the fact that it's the same message that we've been giving them, but being done by a younger, more relevant presenter.
They've just experienced what you are experiencing.
It didn't feel like a lesson. It wasn't like a teacher to a student. It was like a friend sharing revision tips with another friend.
And sometimes students who wouldn't necessarily speak or put their hand up find themselves getting involved because one of the stories they can relate to.
You know, everyone loves a joke. More often than not, you manage to get a little bit of a laugh out of them.
I can tell you that within 2 minutes of the seminar finishing, I had students in my office saying, can we have more of this, please? Please, can we put these people to come back? I mean, I think that tells you how effective it was.
We don't come in to do flash in the pan seminars. We build programs that can change the culture of a school, change the academic environment of a school. And that behavioural change is ultimately what we're after.
They know what to do with their time. We certainly find they're doing far more practice papers. Their files are full of notes.
everyone is using past papers.
Is amazing. I mean, it's completely changed the way I study.
Last summer, certainly the examination results did show an improvement. How much of that is due to Elevate? Who can tell?
It's been so beneficial for me. I've been able to change so much about how I revise, going up 2 grades in most of my subjects, which is incredible. I'm so grateful for it, so grateful.
You get some really nice stories when students come up to you and say, look, we've put into practice X, Y, and Z. We're seeing the results. Studying's become easier. Our results have gone up. You've made a tangible difference, because that's what at the end of the day we're all trying to do.
Okay, so hopefully that was really, really useful. And that just gives you a flavour, really, of who Elevate are and hopefully what they will be able to do to support your child. So back to the presentation. So Elevate will be joining us during the workshops on the 12th of December, and that's why it's really, really critical that you attend, because you'll have an opportunity to work with them to ask and answer any questions that you feel you might have. So we really hope to see you there. So what are we currently offering in terms of your child for support? We have obviously the tier 1 and 2 support, which happens within the classroom and around the classroom in terms of ISTs, but we also offer tier 3 support as well. Now, we do have period 7s, and obviously you're all aware of the period 7s. They start and they change slightly after each half term, and you can see the timetable there in front of you, okay? And they change every single half term. So they are period 7, so from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, in some cases from 3:15 to 4:15. They identify students that are in need of particular additional support, and they run on a rota. All of the students receive 50 kickboard points if they attend. Unfortunately, they do lose 50 kickboard points if they don't attend, because these sessions are so critical. They are just for a handful of students that need that additional support. And, you know, we've seen movement from one grade to another in a half term because of the really focused work that happens during period 7s. We also have what's called tier 4 support, where we feel that students need some additional support in a subject that goes beyond what we actually offer here at Noosa from our classroom teachers. So we actually do buy in support packages for students, and you will be aware, you will have received a letter informing you if your child has received that extra intervention. And so on the 10th of October, we started off bespoke work in engineering, catering and hospitality, working with Trudy in the subject area for particular catch-up, and that's been happening since the 10th. We also have support for the following subjects that's been offered by a company called Engage Education. You will obviously have contact if you're aware of that, but equally, if you feel that this is something that you would like support with, you only need to contact me, and I can see if we can put something in place for your child. And then started on the 14th of November, we have some small group support, some one-to-one support, and we also have a tutor in-house 3 days a week offering support with English, maths, science, Spanish and history from a company called Yippee App. So we really have a lot of support available. We really want to provide the best opportunity for the children here at Noosa. We also have a year 11 study area that's open on Wednesday afternoons. If students want to come in and actually just catch up with Sparks work, that area is available. And B031 is also open on Thursday afternoons for any IST catch-ups. You know, sometimes we have students that say, well, you know, I'm struggling with time at home, or, you know, by the time I get home, I'm just tired, I do other things. Well, actually, we've provided these extra times so that, you know, that opportunity is available to catch up and do what needs to be done. We are also providing a specific revision guide to support the students, and that's a gift from us. So we have obviously bought these for the students that attend the Steps to Success, and this is really an invaluable resource. So, you know, should you and your child attend, you will receive that. And if you do need any specific revision guides from subjects, these can be bought from A117 from Vera via an actual course form, a green order form. So they're also available. Now, how can you support your child? And we get this question a lot. I think one of the biggest ways is to help them to be exam stress, because actually, there is a lot, there's a lot to do and there's a lot to consider. And actually, I think as time creeps by and the closer we get to the summer, we do find that the students struggle with exam stress. And really, it's about watching out for those signs of stress and those signs of overwhelm, making sure that your child's eating well, that they're getting enough sleep, that they get into sleep before 11, so they get that good quality deep sleep, that there's some flexibility during exams, that they're balancing out their study time but also their social and relaxing time, which is equally as important. You can help them study. Sometimes they just need to bounce ideas off, or even just somebody to help them revise using cue cards or study guides. That can be really helpful. Talk to them. Sometimes just talking about exam nerves, what's on their mind, can be really encouraging. And exercise can really help to keep that positive mood as well. Obviously, we know, just like us, you want them to do well, but it's about knowing when to put the pressure on and when to relieve it. And I think that it's that balance that's always challenging. Also making time for treats, weekends, time out, that kind of thing can make a big difference. If you go onto the NHS mental health website, you'll see there's lots of guidance there. And also, excuse me, GCSE pod, which all of the students have access to, have got loads of pods across every single subject. And there are also parental webinars on there as well that will help to support. As I've already kind of alluded to, help them to believe in themselves, to get organised, to pack their bag the night before, to sleep properly, to resolve problems, to do some exercise, eating well, dealing with nerves, just talking things through, and also keeping things into perspective. That can be really critical as well. I want to also draw your attention to Headspace. They offer a student plan. It's free, and Headspace can really help to just generate mindfulness, to regroup and refocus, to actually move them from that panic, fight or flight state, which can stop them from revising well, into a calm, methodical state, which is really important. And they were introduced to this during the exam season as well. And so Headspace is a really great plan to support students. How your child can best prepare? Well, of course, it's about being organised. It's about having a plan, knowing what time they've got available, not jam-packing everything full 2 weeks before exams, but actually planning from this point onwards. What does the day look like? How much can they put in at the end of the day during period 7? How much time do they have at home? What other responsibilities might they have as well? What other things do they need to do to balance themselves? And I would say, and I've said to the students, structure everything. Plan for everything, even the nice things, even the relaxation, the social time, the family time. Plan it all in there. Make sure it happens. Organisation is probably the number one in terms of reducing stress. There is a website called the Student Room, and this really just gives lots of advice, lots of tips, lots of resources. It can really help to support the students through this challenging time. And also there's on the Get Revising website, there's study masterclass as well to support students and parents as well. And finally, it's just about rethinking revision, making sure that every aspect of the revising process is clearly understood. So really focusing on not everything, but things, areas within class that the student has perhaps found difficult and needs to look over again. So it's about finding out which topics are of real challenge, and then using additional podcasts, YouTube clips, GCSE pod resources to upskill and uplearn. Creating revision cards can be really useful, using mind maps, bullet points, just having discussions with yourself and with peers can be really useful. Using their mind maps to condense a particular topic is incredibly useful as well. Flashcards, writing frames, bullet points and essential knowledge are all really key tips. And again, as we go through, I would encourage you, and all of this information obviously is available to you to watch and re-watch. So I'd really encourage you to really get to grips with these revision techniques. Obviously, memorizing, turning, as crazy as it sounds, turning them into a song, turning them into a quiz, turning them into flashcards, even the story method. So creating a story with key words to recall and recap can be incredibly useful. And there's actually a lot of research into this now, which can really help. Making a resource with fellow students, creating activities, reading, rereading and memorizing quotes, vocabulary tests can all be really key. Reviewing information, marking and using past papers is one of the best ways that students can learn. Just do as many past papers as possible. Annotating blank sheets, teaching other people is a really, really good way of helping to master particular topics as well. All of these things can be incredibly useful. So top tips, please do use GCSE Pod. There is everything on there. You can pick a subject, you can choose a topic and you can just start revising. This is something that you directly can help your child with. GCSE Pod has everything on there that you could possibly need to be GCSE ready. So I would encourage you after this webinar to go and have a look, sit with your child, let them talk you through it, become really accustomed to how GCSE Pod works. Just a few revision tips then from the memory champion Emma Allen. Emma says, set a specific goal. Every day, what is your goal to achieve that day? Describe or decide on how much time you'll actually need for that particular goal to be achieved. Never really chunk for more than an hour would be my advice. Read the information that you need to revise at least twice. Once to get the overall picture and a second time with a highlighter to pull out the key information. Rewrite what you can't remember. So go over it again and again until it's firmly embedded in your long-term memory. Apply a memory system. You can go onto the website Mind Palace and that will give you lots and lots of tips. Dwell on your revision. Spend some time thinking about it, even after you've finished revising. And this is where cue cards are absolutely fantastic. Eliminate all distractions. Turn off your phone. The number of times that I see the students trying to revise and they keep stopping to go on social media to acknowledge an acknowledgement that they've had. Actually, putting the phone away can make all the difference. So if you go onto the NHS website, as I said before, you'll find all of these top tips and they're really, really useful. I would encourage you to go and have a little bit of a browse. I'm not going to play this for you now, but you can find a lot of information on a variety of websites. So you can find revision techniques on YouTube. And as I said, Mindvalley has a wealth of information in terms of how to revise. If you go onto YouTube, type in Mindvalley revision techniques, you will find a wealth of possible YouTube clips that you could have access to. So again, Study Smart. If you go on and research Study Smart on revision techniques on YouTube, you will find a wealth of information there as well. And finally, next steps then, please do discuss period 7 and any additional interventions with your child and make sure they're actually attending. And this stops us, having to chase you and make phone calls. It really, encourages them to be independent and take responsibility. Discuss their mock results. They will receive their mock results. Obviously they will have received them by the time you watch this webinar. Please discuss their results and their progress with them and help them to become ambitious. It is not too late. There is so much that can be done between now and the summer. I've seen 1, 2 and even 3 grade improvements between this time and the summer results. Please get in touch with us if you need any additional support at all. There are no crazy questions. That's what we're here for. That is our primary purpose, to support your child. Encourage your child to complete their ISTs again or access study areas on Wednesday or Thursday. This can make all of the difference. And please do work with them to plan a revision timetable. This needs to start in January. Okay, the earlier the better. So please do encourage them to break their revision into fun activities. And this will avoid all of that pressure and all of that stress that comes if they leave things to the last minute. So that's it from me. But please, do get in touch if you've got any questions. I would encourage you to watch this more than once, watch this webinar more than once, so that you can take notes, so that you can really, screenshot or, any slides that you think are useful. Please do capture that information. The research says that the more support that young people have from their parents and carers, the more likely they are to succeed in their exams. So we really do appreciate your support, and we very much look forward to seeing you at the Steps to Success event on Monday, the 12th of December. Thank you so much. Please send your reply slip in with your child, and we look forward to speaking with you. Take care. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.